Well, Buntingford Medical Centre, Part 8. Today is the 12th of December, 2021. I've just phoned Lister Hospital to see how Doreen's getting on. Same old story as before. Get lots of waffling information about COVID, about restricted visiting, about people with mental problems. Oh, bloody hell. You get all this and all you want to know is how your wife's getting on. 5 minutes later, I get through to an operator. He tells me that Doreen's on ward 6A North and puts me through. The nurse answers on inquiry about Doreen. The nurse tells me that Doreen is complaining about the pain in her feet and wants to come home. Well, that sounds about right, doesn't it? She asks me if I want to talk to Doreen and gives the phone to Doreen. What do I expect from her? Well, as expected, she's as miserable as sin, tells me that no doctor's been to see her yet, but a doctor is expected to see her sometime today. She says, that's it. Puts the phone down on me. That's it. A 10-minute phone call to get a 20-second talk to Doreen, and then she puts the phone down on me. An expensive 10 minutes. Doreen called back later and was a changed person. She says she realises that she's in the best place to finally try and get a diagnosis of her original problem, the original problem. 13th of December. Doreen's called 3 times today. She said that she's been seen by a number of doctors and had more blood tests done. They're now suggesting that her problem could well be a damaged nerve when she had a hip replacement. I can't remember how many times this has been suggested to the health centre over the past 22 months. A lot of time needlessly wasted and untold extra damage done. If this suggestion turns out to be right, after all. 14th of December, 9 o'clock, and Sue the nurse phoned to see how Doreen's getting on. I thanked her for seeing the doctor because she said she would go and see the doctor, and she's obviously been instrumental at getting Doreen into hospital. So thank you, Sue. 10 o'clock, and the welfare lady has just phoned as Doreen was going to start talking to welfare about her condition. Doreen phoned and said that everyone is very kind at Lister and she's being treated really, really well. She doesn't talk about coming home, so that's good. And she's seen more doctors later on. 15th of December, Doreen phoned today and said they are going to do a scan on her feet tomorrow, as her feet have been major cause of all the pain. And you've got to ask, why is it only now that they're going to do a scan of her feet? The feet have been the bloody problem for 22 months. 16th of December. Doreen still has not had the scan on her feet, nor has the magic liquid turned up that was supposed to help heal with her weeping sores on her feet. It's really hard to see how you're going to make progress. That, I suppose we ought to be used to it by now. 17th of December. I phoned the doctors at 11:30 and asked for a repeat prescription for Doreen's Oromorph. I'm told that Oromorph is not on Doreen's prescription and that she cannot accept a repeat prescription over the phone. How very strange is that? Doreen's been issued 4 bottles of Oromorph a week for the past 8 weeks by phoning the doctors. But today, that can't happen. After a heated exchange with the receptionist, she puts the phone down on me. I've just sent an email to them and requested a prescription for 4 bottles of Oromorph to be sent down to the chemist for collection. And I told them I won't allow Doreen to come home from hospital until it's there. Why was I so bloody difficult? A procedure that's worked for 8 weeks is no longer valid. I had a phone call from the doctors later on, and the nice lady said that Dr. Page had sent the prescription down to the chemist for 1 bottle of Ormorph, and she would look at the discharge letter from Lister and then make a decision about the Ormorph. I'll phone the chemist tomorrow to see if it is available for collection. 18th of December, I've collected the single bottle of Ormorph from the chemist shop. Now, I still don't know what's happening with Doreen, really. Time's getting on. It's getting near Christmas. Well, Doreen phoned about midday to see if the Ormorph had arrived, and I told her it had. She sounded upbeat and told me that her feet did not hurt as much as usual, even though they are fully bandaged. See, now, bandaging her feet obviously makes them warmer. You're wrapping them up. Now, her feet, she suffered 22 months with burning feet. So wrapping them up makes the problem worse. That's the original problem, not the fact she's had burns on her feet and skin grafts. The original problem, burning feet, still undiagnosed, still untreated. She said that last night about 10 in the evening, she'd been given her nighttime dose of tablets, which were gabapentin and amitriptyline. Now, she's had both of these tablets before because I can remember the names, but I can't remember if she had both of them together or not. If she had them about 10 in the evening, and the time now is 1300, that means 15 hours after she took the medication, she says her feet are bearable. Not free from pain, but bearable. Now, that's a huge improvement. Let's hope she's correct and it's not just an anomaly that can't be repeated. 19th of December, Doreen called and said that her feet were still not as painful as they had been for the past 2 years. Great news. She says that she thinks she'll be home Tuesday, and it's hard for the hospital to book an ambulance to bring her home. 20th of December, 13:45, Dr. Page phones to inquire if Doreen was out of hospital yet. She asked if I could let her know when Doreen was home that she could talk about treatment. Doreen rode home by ambulance, and what a different person from the last time I saw her, 10 days ago. First thing you noticed was that she was on her feet. Not very well, but she had both feet on the floor and was managing to take very short, stuttering steps, about 6 inches at a time, like you see penguins sort of shuffling along on the snow, but on both feet. She was much more relaxed in herself, and she says she'd been given a constant intravenous antibiotic for the past 10 days for a needle in her arm. She says that she's on gabapentin, amitriptyline, and says the pain in her feet, although still severe, has been reduced by about 50%. And she thinks that she will be able to manage as long as the medication that has been prescribed at Lister is continued now that she's home. Great news. But as far as I can tell, they still do not know what the problem is, and it may be that they never will, and that she may well have to live with the pain and the problems forever. Well, that's okay, as long as the pain is controlled and manageable. 14:30, Dr. Page came to give us both our 2 vaccines, one for the COVID booster and the second for the flu. She spoke to Doreen at length and could not have been more friendly or helpful. Thank you, Dr. Page. Let's hope that now Doreen has managed to get her pain under control We can move forward, slowly, but forward. As my time gets shorter by the day, it would be reassuring to think that Doreen would have some quality of life when I'm no longer around for her. 29th of December. Bloody glad Christmas is over. There's no fun there for me. 11:05, Dr. Mukherjee phoned Doreen and he spoke at length about a medication. Bloody hell, Dr. Doreen's never been so popular. I've had a couple of copies that have been sent to a friend who has agreed to help us to try and sort out Doreen's treatment over the past 2 years. Everyone seems to be very concerned as to whether we should be allowing someone to have access to our medical details. I don't see the problem. If a friend offers to help with a problem that involves Doreen's medical care, then they obviously have to know her problems. So it's not something I worry about. Other people seem to be. Dr. Mukherjee told Doreen that he had sent the prescription down at the chemist. Doreen has arranged for someone to deliver the medication to us. It's 5:10, no medication yet. Same old thing. Doreen's just phoned the chemist and he's told they don't have some of the items and they'll have to be ordered. Now, bear in mind, this is a bloody chemist. And what, we're running out of things? Don't they keep some sort of stock, check on stock? Oh, look, I've got 10 boxes. Ooh, I've just sold 5. Right, I better order some more. No, wait until it runs out, then we'll order some. So if some poor sod needs medication, they haven't got it, well, they're going to have to wait until we get some more in. Great system. Anyway, also, the prescription's not made up yet. They close in half an hour, so it looks very likely Doreen's not going to get the medication today or possibly even tomorrow. The nurse came to dress Doreen's feet, but as we have not had any bandages for 3 weeks, it's only possible to change some of the dressings. They were supposed to have been ordered 3 weeks ago by one of the nurses. I do not know whether they've been ordered or where they go before getting to us, but we haven't seen them and the nurses haven't seen them either. Thursday, 30th December, Doreen has no medication. The doctor issued a prescription at 11:30 yesterday. Doreen phoned the chemist at 5 o'clock in the evening. She is told that the prescription is not made up yet and they do not have some of the medication again and they will have to be ordered. Doreen's arranged for a charity worker to collect the medication that's available. Well, that didn't happen. And now right back where we started, square one again. The medication that was conceived by Lister Hospital and that's worked so well at reducing her pain, no longer available. There you go. 1 step forward, 2 or 3 prompt steps backwards. Surely a chemist, like any other business, has some form of stock control, an ordering procedure. Why would you wait until you ain't got none before you order more? This is people's lives you're talking about. It's not like going down to the co-op and they've got no choice of butter. You can only have, it's not like that. This is people. What about the poor old sod who's got heart problems? Oh, we ain't got none of your medication, mate. Bloody lump it. Oh, I know that Doreen's pony's back as doors being slammed. Going to be a good day today. It's Saturday, 19th of February. More disappointment and frustration just keeps happening. The latest occurred on Monday, the 14th of February. Doreen medication is collected every Monday from the chemist. As usual, Doreen phones the chemist to verify that the prescription was ready for collection, and the assistant said it was. They both had a laugh about it because quite frequently it's not. Having that information confirmed, Doreen called the charity driver and asked could they pick up the prescription for her. Well, The driver phoned back sometime later and said the prescription was not ready and that he couldn't wait in the hope that it would turn up. Doreen immediately phoned the chemist and asked where her prescription was. The chemist said they didn't have it. Doreen related the fact that the assistant had already informed her it was there and ready. The chemist said they didn't have the prescription and she should phone the doctor. Doreen phoned the doctors and was told by a receptionist the prescription went down to the chemist at 11:30. Doreen again phoned the chemist and again he said they don't have it. Doreen phoned the doctor again, who was told it did go down at 11:30 and that she'd give Doreen a barcode number to quote to the chemist. Here we go. Doreen phoned the chemist again and told him that he did have the prescription and gave him the barcode number. He then said, oh, probably what's happened was that Doreen's prescription was on a green form. A green form? Doreen asked him what the bloody hell was a green form. And he replied that some of the prescriptions were sent down to him electronically and some were put on a green form. And a shop assistant from the chemist had to walk down to the doctor's to collect them. They do that once a day. If your prescription missed this single daily collection, then you're going to have to wait another day for it to be collected. You have to ask yourself, why on earth would any business, both doctors and chemists or businesses, would use such a ridiculous system when patients depend on medication being available on time? Now, we're both old age pensioners and probably a lot of other people in the same position, and there is no money to spend that hours on the phone doing umpteen phone calls to establish the fact that you're out of luck and you're going to have to manage without your prescription for another day. The nurses come twice a week to treat Doreen's feet. They come Tuesday and Friday. Yesterday was the day of the high winds and no nurse arrived. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. You ask yourself, do I go to the toilet? Well, I don't want to be sitting on the bloody toilet when the nurse arrives. Well, should I start cooking dinner? Well, what about the nurse coming? I'm really tired, bloody tired now. Should I go and have a lay down? Or is the nurse going to ring the bell as soon as I put my head on the pillow? That goes on all day. The fact that Doreen's feet will now have to wait a full week to have the dressings changed is a bad thing, as her feet are not healing, and even the nurses are concerned with the lack of progress and are seeking advice from the Burns Hospital. They have started taking pictures of her feet on every visit. Well, just another day. We'll leave it there, see how it progresses. Talk to you again.